Okay, so you know that feeling when you're a solopreneur and you're like really putting your all into it, but the marketing just feels like throwing spaghetti at a wall?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like you're doing the work, but it's not really, actually getting you anywhere.
Yeah. I think every solopreneur feels that at some point.
Right. It's so common and it's so frustrating.
For sure.
So that's why I think this deep dive is going to be really useful for a lot of people because we're looking at this guide by this guy, Dan.
Okay.
And he specifically focuses on people who are pre-profitable
Right, right.
and sort of like navigating the early stages of marketing, which I think
Yeah,
is like where so many people get stuck.
absolutely. I mean, the early stages are the hardest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he offers this framework basically to help you get unstuck and like actually start seeing results.
I like that he calls it a framework. It's not like a quick fix or like
Yeah.
some kind of magic bullet.
Right. It's not like do these three things and then suddenly you're making $1 million.
Yeah.
And what I thought was really interesting too is that he's super accessible.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's really open to people DMing him with questions, which you don't see all the time.
Right.
And then he also has this pretty substantial video. It's like 50 minutes
Yeah.
on crafting a marketing plan that actually like prevents those dreaded $0 launches.
Oh, that's huge. I mean, that's a fear that a lot of people have,
Totally.
that they're going to launch and hear crickets.
Yeah, well, exactly.
So to have someone who's like, I can help you avoid that,
Yeah,
that's a powerful,
totally.
powerful thing.
Yeah, so I think he really, he walks the walk as well as talks the talk.
For sure. For sure.
Okay, so our mission today with this deep dive basically is to extract the core principles from his guide
Right.
and the stuff that you can use like right away.
Yeah. Actionable advice.
Exactly. We want you to be able to finish listening to this and have like a different way of thinking about your marketing.
Yeah. Change your mindset.
And then also some actual like steps you can take.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to focus on three main things. Building products that actually have traction from the get-go.
Got it.
Getting laser focused on your strategy beyond just like, the surface level stuff.
Right.
And then also looking beyond some of the early stage marketing tactics that a lot of people talk about that maybe aren't as effective.
Gotcha.
So let's jump right in. And I think it makes sense to start with the product itself.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Because Dan really emphasizes that like the product is not just what you're selling,
Okay.
it's the actual foundation of your marketing.
Interesting.
He's saying like some product ideas, even if you market them really well, are always going to face limitations.
I see. So it's not just about the promotion. It's about the core value of what you've created.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That makes you think.
Totally. And this leads to what I think is like the biggest takeaway from this whole section, which is the painkiller versus vitamin analogy.
Oh, I've heard of that. I'm curious to hear how
Yeah.
he frames it. Yeah, so he describes a painkiller product as something that like directly alleviates a major problem.
Okay.
So we're talking about like avoiding serious negative consequences, like losing money, getting sued, wasting huge amounts of time.
All right. High stakes stuff.
Exactly. And he points out that these types of products are often found in the B2B world,
Oh, interesting.
but they can exist for consumers too.
Makes sense.
And they tend to be things that people use really consistently, like maybe even every day.
I see.
But here's what's interesting. They might not sound super glamorous or be easy to explain
Right.
to like someone outside of your niche.
Yeah. I can see like it's so specific that it's hard to even
Yeah,
summarize it concisely.
exactly.
Okay.
So then on the other side of the spectrum, we have the vitamin products.
Oh.
These are things that address more like minor issues. So maybe, you're not getting as many likes on social media or you're struggling to keep up with a new habit,
Right.
those kinds of things.
Like first world problems almost.
Exactly. Yeah. And these often lean more towards the B2C space.
Gotcha.
And they're typically used less frequently, like maybe monthly or annually.
Okay.
And Dan makes this really interesting point that you might even feel a little bit embarrassed when you're trying to explain a vitamin product.
Like you're not quite sure what the value proposition is?
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
So he gives this like really blunt piece of advice, and I'm just going to quote him directly. He
Right.
says, kill your vitamin product and build a painkiller.
Wow.
Yeah, strong stuff.
No mincing words there.
No, but I think
Yeah.
his point is clear. Like, if you take away one thing from his whole guide,
Yeah.
it should be this idea that you need to create something that solves a real pressing need.
A real pain point.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he doesn't just leave you hanging with this idea.
Yeah.
He actually provides some resources to help you.
Oh, that's good.
So he mentions a free idea validator, which is designed to give you like brutally honest feedback.
Oh, that's always helpful, even though it's hard to hear sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But I think sometimes that's exactly what you need.
Totally.
And then he also has a 22-minute video on generating good product ideas.
Okay.
And then a business ideas generator that specifically leans towards painkiller concepts.
That's so useful.
Yeah, so he's really giving you the tools to actually implement this idea.
Awesome.
Now, I know some people listening might be really attached to their current product,
Right.
even if it's more of a vitamin.
Yeah.
So for those people, Dan has a slightly gentler approach. He suggests taking a 1-month detour
Okay.
to work on a scratch your own itch product.
Like that.
Yeah, something that solves a problem that you personally experience.
Okay.
So it's like low stakes experiment.
Thanks.
If it doesn't take off, you haven't lost much.
Right. You've only invested a month.
But you might discover a painkiller idea hiding in your own frustrations.
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah. So hopefully we've gotten you thinking a little bit differently about your product's core value.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to strategy.
All right. Let's get strategic.
All right. So this part really gets at this common mistake that I think a lot of solopreneurs make,
Okay.
which is the whole launch and see what sticks approach.
Oh, yeah.
Dan is not a fan.
Really?
He really dismisses this mentality, especially if your ideal customers aren't hanging out on Twitter or Product Hunt all day.
Right.
He actually calls it a dumb dream, which I think is kind of funny.
Yeah. I mean, it's harsh, but I think there's some truth to it.
Totally. And I think a lot of people have experienced that, right? They launch something and they're just like, where are all the customers?
Crickets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So instead of this launch and pray method, he emphasizes that you need to spend a little bit of focus time up front.
Okay.
He suggests even 10 minutes just to sit down and really answer 7 key questions.
All right. I'm ready. What are the questions?
Okay, so these are foundational questions, and if you find yourself struggling to answer them, that's a sign that you need to do some more digging. So the first one is super straightforward. What one problem am I solving?
Oh.
And this forces you to really boil down your offering to its core purpose.
Get to the essence.
Exactly. Then the next one is, what audience segment craves a solution to my product the most?
Okay, so who is your ideal customer?
Yeah, who's feeling the pain the most?
Right.
Then we have a set of questions that really get you thinking about your place in the market.
Okay.
So what's the current go-to solution for this problem? What's good and bad about it?
I see.
And how is my product better than the current alternatives?
So really analyzing the competitive landscape.
Exactly. You have to be able to articulate what makes you stand out.
Okay.
Then we get into the nitty-gritty with what pricing is a no-brainer for my audience and still a good deal for me.
Right. Finding that sweet spot.
Yeah, where everyone wins.
Okay.
And then finally, a question that brings it all down to earth. How will I get my first 10 customers?
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, it's not about some massive marketing campaign. It's about those initial crucial connections.
That makes it feel a lot more doable.
Totally.
Okay.
So Dan points out that if you find yourself giving vague answers to these questions like, my product is for everyone, or there's nothing else like it, without actually backing it up.
Just empty claims.
Exactly. That's a red flag that you don't really understand your target audience.
Okay, so what do you do if you're in that situation?
So thankfully, he offers some tools to help you with this.
Okay.
So he has a user persona generator if you're struggling to really picture your ideal customer.
Oh, that's clear.
Yeah. And then a value proposition generator to help you articulate your unique benefits.
Awesome.
And then a 28-minute video specifically on product differentiation.
So you really have no excuse.
Exactly. You have all the resources you need.
Okay.
What's also really insightful is this point he makes about developing a compelling angle.
What does he mean by that?
So basically, he's saying that if you're launching a product that's kind of like everything else that's already out there, your target audience is just going to ignore it.
That makes sense. You have to stand out.
Yeah, you need to have something that really grabs their attention.
Right.
And this angle needs to be authentic. It needs to genuinely resonate with your ideal customer's desires and pain points.
So it's not just about being different. It's about being different in a way that matters.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm getting it.
So hopefully by now you've sharpened your product idea and you're thinking more strategically.
Yes.
Now let's talk about where you actually find those first customers and build a sustainable audience.
All right. That's the million-dollar question.
Right. And I think we need to start by kind of dispelling this myth of the overnight viral launch.
Okay, yeah.
Because Dan is very clear that those moments are incredibly rare.
Right.
And even if you do get a burst of attention from somewhere like Product Hunt,
Yeah.
that traffic tends to be super short-lived.
So you can't rely on that.
No.
No.
You need a more diversified and sustainable approach.
A long-term strategy.
Exactly, and thankfully he lays out a really practical framework for those early customer acquisitions.
Okay, I'm all ears.
So first of all, he talks about building an audience on social media platforms that are actually relevant to your niche.
Makes sense.
And he even gives some specific examples like Twitter for connecting with founders LinkedIn for more corporate audiences,
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok for B2C products, and even Tumblr for like super specific niche communities.
Okay.
He also highlights email marketing if you already have an engaged list.
Right.
And for B2B solopreneurs, he really recommends manual cold outreach and personalized DMs.
Interesting.
Because he emphasizes that it's about making genuine connections, not just spamming people.
Right. Authenticity over automation.
Exactly.
I like that.
And then another key early tactic is offering your product for free in exchange for feedback and testimonials.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
You get valuable insights and they get you to try your product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he positions a product hunt launch as more of a validation tool and a way to get some early traction, but he wisely cautions against being too obsessed with it.
Right. It's not the be-all and end-all.
Exactly.
Wow.
But I think the real meat of this section is the discussion of effective channels after that initial launch phase.
Okay, so once you got some momentum, what do you do next?
So he provides a whole range of strategies that he's seen work well for solopreneurs.
I'm excited to hear these.
So one is creating free SEO optimized tools, like he gives this example of FounderPal.
Okay.
And then he reiterates building a presence on platforms beyond Twitter, like YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn.
Right. Diversify your efforts.
Exactly. And he even points to a free content ideas generator if you're struggling to come up with ideas.
That's helpful.
Yeah. And then he suggests exploring Facebook ads, particularly for retargeting people who've already visited your website.
Okay.
And sponsoring relevant product directories like Futurepedia, or there is an AI for that.
I see.
To get more visibility within specific communities.
Yeah. Niche down.
Exactly. And he also highlights the long-term value of launching a free weekly newsletter.
Oh, yeah. Newsletters are so powerful.
Yeah, because you can consistently nurture your audience and build a stronger connection over time.
Right. It's not just a one-off blast.
Exactly.
Okay.
I also found his point about data-driven programmatic SEO really interesting.
What is that exactly?
So he clarifies that it's not about like generating generic AI-written spam content.
Right.
It's about using data insights to strategically create content that ranks for specific keywords.
So it's still about quality content.
Exactly.
Just with a more data-driven approach.
Yeah, and often these keywords are longer tail, which means they have higher intent.
Oh, interesting.
So people are searching for something really specific.
Makes sense.
He also touches on influencer marketing as an option once you have a bit of budget.
Okay.
Affiliate marketing as a way to leverage existing audiences once you have stable conversion rates.
Right.
And a focused SEO strategy centered around long-tail, high-intent blog posts.
So really going deep on those specific topics.
Exactly. And he specifically advises against trying to rank for, like, super broad competitive terms.
Okay, yeah, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, you're not going to outrank, like, you know, Wikipedia or something.
Not chance.
Okay, so on the flip side, Dan also outlines marketing channels that he generally thinks are less effective for solopreneurs.
Okay, good to know what to avoid.
So he includes newsletter sponsorships, which he says can be pretty expensive and often have a lot of bot clicks.
Oh, yeah, that's frustrating.
And user referral programs, which can be surprisingly hard to implement effectively.
Wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, and he also advises caution with Google ads,
Okay.
suggesting that they can be more costly and less targeted for solopreneurs compared to platforms like Facebook ads.
Interesting.
He's pretty critical of Twitter ads due to their poor targeting capabilities.
I could see that.
And building an audience organically on Reddit carries a high risk of being banned.
Oh, yeah, Reddit is tough.
Yeah, although he does acknowledge that actively and genuinely answering questions in specific subreddits can work.
Okay, so it's not all bad.
Right. And finally, he suggests that a lot of the older, outdated product directories aren't really worth the effort.
Yeah, they're probably just collecting dust.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think the key takeaway here, which Dan really emphasizes, is that there's no magic bullet marketing channel.
Right. What works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly. Success is highly variable, and you really have to experiment.
And track your results.
Exactly. You need to be paying attention to what's actually moving the needle.
Right.
And figuring out what works for your specific business.
For sure.
So just to quickly recap.
Yeah, let's summarize.
We dug into the importance of building a painkiller product,
Sure.
something that solves a real problem.
For a specific audience.
Exactly.
Okay.
We talked about developing a focused marketing strategy by answering those 7 critical questions.
Right, going beyond those surface-level assumptions.
Exactly. And then we explored a whole bunch of marketing
A
channels,
whole buffet of options.
emphasizing the need to look beyond the obvious and experiment to find what works for you.
Awesome.
So your immediate next step should be to take some time to think about your current or next product through that painkiller versus vitamin lens.
Yeah, really be honest with yourself.
And then carve out a few minutes to really consider those 7 strategic questions.
Just thinking through them will probably spark some ideas.
Exactly. And then lastly, identify one new marketing channel that we talked about that you haven't really tried before.
And commit to exploring it further.
Exactly.
All right, I'm ready to take action.
Awesome. So I think the biggest thing to remember from Dan's guide is that solopreneurship requires ongoing effort.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
And a willingness to learn and experiment.
For sure.
This deep dive isn't a magic solution, but it hopefully gives you a foundation for a more strategic and effective approach.
It's about moving beyond just trying random things.
Yeah.
And starting to understand why certain approaches are more likely to work.
Exactly. And if any of the stuff we talked about today really resonated with, you definitely go back to the original source material or check out some of Dan's additional resources.
Yeah, he has so much good stuff.
Like those videos and generators.
Yeah, there's a lot to dig into.
Yeah, so there's definitely more guidance waiting for you there.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
It's been fun.
I see you next time.
See ya.